halfway. Hold on. Hey, if you real, meet me halfway. If you real, meet me halfway, pussy.
Charlo, if he's watching.
Shut the fuck up.
¿Por qué?
Que deje de hablar. He told much. Bullshit.
What's going on, you guys? So Jermell, Charlo, Brian Castaño is going down. May 14th. It's closing in. And Jermell Charlo had quite a few things to say. He said one thing that was most notable. Yeah, he's going to have Brian Castaño crying. Hit that like button for your boy. Give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. But Jermell Charlo, Brian Castaño, the undisputed fight, the rematch, a big fight for the sport of boxing, the 154-pound division, most likely will have its first undisputed champion if one of these guys can get the job done, right? First fight in the draw. A lot of people felt it was controversial. A lot of people felt Brian Castaño won that fight. It's going to be hard for Brian Castaño to get a decision against Jermell Charlo in Texas, but we're going to see if he can get the job done this second go round. Now, Jermell Charlo appears to do a lot better in rematches, right? Well, actually, let's reanalyze that. Let's take a step back. In the Tony Harrison fight in a rematch, Jermell was losing that fight until he caught Tony Harrison with a hook. Tony Harrison caught himself hooking with a hooker and got buzzed, and then it went downhill from there. So really, yeah, we gonna see how this fight plays out. Brian Castaño, a lot of pressure, really aggressive, right in your face. Jermell Charlo said if this dude gonna be rushing on him, pressuring him, he's gonna run right into something and get knocked out. But check out what Jermell Charlo had to say.
You gotta seize that moment and that opportunity. I'm dead in focus, laser sharp right now, and I've been grinding since the complaint about your little bicep. I've been grinding. I didn't never stop. So what you did, you gave me more time to prepare my mind, prepare my body. I'm gonna be different. While you over there playing games and wanna, the little games, I'm gonna have your ass in that bitch crying. I'm gonna have your ass in that hurting. I don't care what they say. This is the time. This is my moment. This ain't about Brian Castaño. This is about the Charlo.
Now, after hearing what he had to say about the whole crying thing, right? I mean, Jermell Charlo always talking about somebody crying, right? He told the fans to go cry at one particular time, right? He told the fans to go cry y'all broke asses in the car, right? He telling Brian Castaño he gonna have him crying, right? But if I can remember correctly, if my memory serves me correctly, Jermell Charlo was the one crying after Tony Harrison beat him the first time.
Crying, you fucking soft ass nigga. That's when I stopped liking you. So yours just started today. Mine started a long time ago. So it just show you how much fucking personal.
So yeah, I find it kind of ironic that he's gonna have this dude crying, but he was the one crying, right? But Jermell Charlo, let's be honest, he's good for the sport of boxing. Whether you love him or hate him, he is good for the sport of boxing. He seems angry. He seems just like he just ready to just blow up at any second. It's hilarious. And then 1 second, he look like he about to start crying. He go from look like he about to start crying to look like he about to just be raging out with horns popping out his head and every damn thing, flames coming out his ears, all types of shit in a second, in an instant. And it's hilarious and it's good for boxing, right? And I think Jermell Charlo at this point is kind of playing into that a little bit more, but it's good for the sport, right? You know, if they you gotta do something to stand out, and he's doing a good job standing out. Now, Jermell Charlo, one thing I don't like is the fact that he's not on the pound for pound list. I'm not the biggest Jermell Charlo fan. However, I respect him as a fighter, and I do believe he should be on that damn pound for pound list. For whatever reason, Vasily Lomachenko, who is one of my favorite fighters, by the way, is on that pound for pound list. He shouldn't be on there over Jermell Charlo. It just doesn't sit right with your boy. But this fight, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. Like I said, I told you guys before, going into the first fight, do not be sleep on Brian Castaño. Do not be sleep on this guy. I seen what he done to my boy Lara, right? I thought my boy Lara is one of my favorite boxers. I thought he got to give decision in that fight. I like, do not be sleep on this dude. He beat Errol Spence Jr. in the amateurs. He can fight. He throws a lot of punches. He got experience. He knows what he's doing in there. Don't underestimate these guys. Actually, don't underestimate none of these Argentine fighters. They all come to fight. So yeah, Jermell Charlo's really confident going into this second fight with Brian Castaño. Of course, Brian Castaño is confident, but Jermell Charlo seems a lot more confident. Like he just has it all figured out. We go see what Jermell Charlo can do. Derek James is one of the best coaches in the game. I'm sure they got a legit game plan. Will Jermell Charlo be able to follow through with the game plan to beat an aggressive fighter like Brian Castaño? It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be an exciting fight. But the whole funny thing about it is he's telling this dude that he going to have him crying. But like I said, he was the one crying. So it's funny that Jermell Charlo says this. I wonder if he remembers some of the stuff he says or does. But I don't really think it matters to him at this point. I think he just played into this role. And it's good for boxing. So continue doing what you're doing, Jermell Charlo. And yeah, this fight with Brian Castaño, you guys. Look, I know people expected a knockout. Right? Jermell Charlo is telling everybody that he's this magical one-punch knockout artist all of a sudden. I'm not quite sure I believe into that yet, right? He's a 50% KO ratio. I'm not quite sure I believe that he's this Deontay Wilder type of puncher, Julian Jackson type of puncher just yet. He got to show me in this fight with Brian Castaño. If he knocks out Brian Castaño, oh my goodness, right? You knocked out this guy. He's undefeated. You did all that. You knocked him out. I mean, Jermell Charlo should be higher on the pound-for-pound list, regardless of how you feel about the guy. He should be rated. He's fighting all the toughest guys in the division. He's fighting Brian Castaño in a rematch. He fought Tony Harris in a rematch, you know. So Jermell Charlo is doing this thing regardless of how you feel about the guy, you know. And this fight with Brian Castaño, people, like I said before, do not expect it to go how you think it's gonna go. I mean, this dude Brian Castaño, he's gonna come to fight. He's gonna come to win, and we're gonna see who's gonna have who crying. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.